This is truly breaking news. 20 advisors from Brockow have simultaneously resigned from the Labour Party, plunging the situation into chaos for Keir Starmer. The implications of this mass resignation are staggering, as it signals a profound crisis within the party that could have far-reaching consequences. Among those leading the charge is Milan Radulovic, a council leader with over 40 years of loyalty to Labour. His departure is a stark indicator of just how dire circumstances have become. Radulovic and his fellow advisors are not merely dissenters, they are the very backbone of the Labour Party, and they are making it clear that Starmer's leadership has veered off course. They argue that he has transformed the Labour Party overnight, not just through policy shifts but by abandoning its core values. To them, the party's identity is in jeopardy, and if Starmer does not act swiftly to remedy the situation, he risks catastrophic fallout in the upcoming elections. The numbers tell a grim story. Since the last election, Labour has lost 33 council seats in by-elections while gaining only 6 new ones. Nearly half of Labour supporters, 46%, expressed dissatisfaction with the party's direction. Controversial decisions, such as cutting winter fuel allowances amid a cost-of-living crisis and maintaining an ambiguous stance on Gaza, have severely tarnished Labour's public image. These policies are cited as the primary reasons behind the Brockow advisors' resignations. Furthermore, Starmer's plan to merge smaller councils into super councils has drawn heavy criticism, with Radulovic calling it a form of dictatorship. If Starmer continues to disregard the voices of party members, he risks becoming the leader of a party that has alienated its supporters entirely. The current situation resembles a slow-moving car crash, impossible to ignore yet terrifying to witness. Can Labour overcome this crisis, or is Starmer leading the party deeper into chaos? The frustration is palpable, particularly when you consider the practical implications of these changes. As it stands, if a resident has an issue, they can approach their local advisor, someone who understands the community and can address concerns promptly. However, with the proposed shift to super councils, individual voices risk being drowned out entirely. In a scenario where a town needs a new community centre, local advisors familiar with the area's needs would normally push the project forward. Under a super council, the decision-making power would rest with individuals unfamiliar with the community, leading to a disconnect between governance and the people. Current advisors can support local businesses, but super councils may prioritize large-scale developments that do little to serve community needs. This growing detachment from local governance is concerning, as it threatens to undermine the very essence of democracy. The situation is further complicated by the criticisms levied by Elon Musk and Keir Starmer, who are calling for an investigation into Starmer's past as Director of Public Prosecutions. Musk has raised pointed questions about the Crown Prosecution Service's handling of grooming gangs during Starmer's tenure, while Badenoch has demanded a nationwide inquiry into what she describes as the rape gang scandal. These aren't baseless accusations, they reference real cases, such as those in Rotherham, and the public is now clamoring for accountability. Starmer's office attempts to redirect the focus towards foreign interference in politics, but these serious allegations could overshadow any attempts to regain control of the narrative. The announcement of stricter regulations on foreign political donations from Downing Street seems like a desperate attempt to divert attention, but it may not be enough to quell the storm brewing around Starmer. Labour's electoral prospects are dismal, with the party suffering catastrophic losses in recent elections. The party's decline is striking. Since their apparent victory in July, Labour has lost 27 seats in just 6 months. Support is dwindling at an alarming pace, faster than Starmer can devise excuses for his party's failures. The economic landscape is bleak, with inflation rates soaring and the public's financial struggles intensifying. Labour's response? Talk of tax hikes, a strategy that's likely to backfire. Starmer's increasing friendliness with the EU is alarming for those who supported Brexit, leading many to feel that Labour is secretly plotting a return to the EU against their will. Rising discontent within Labour is palpable, with members lamenting the party's loss of direction. Starmer's attempts to appease everyone have resulted in him satisfying no one, while other political parties capitalise on Labour's missteps. The Conservatives are holding steady, but Reform UK is gaining traction, now polling at a striking 22%. Analysts predict that if this trend continues, Reform UK could become the largest party in Parliament, potentially throwing traditional power dynamics into disarray. Labour is not merely losing its traditional strongholds, it is failing to establish a foothold in key battleground areas. If Starmer doesn't rectify these issues promptly, the political landscape could shift dramatically. Starmer is undoubtedly under immense pressure. He pledged to make Labour electable again, yet the opposite seems to be happening. If he remains unable to address the party's challenges, Labour risks being sidelined for the foreseeable future. The financial outlook for Labour is equally grim. Wealthy individuals are fleeing the UK, taking their capital with them, which poses dire implications for the economy. Labour's tax hikes and regulatory changes have made the UK an unattractive destination for investment, with 42% of wealthy individuals considering relocating their assets abroad. The UK stock market has lost a staggering $100 billion in value this year, marking the worst decline since the 2009 financial crisis. Critics argue that when money leaves the country, it takes jobs and investments with it, impacting everyone, not just the wealthy. The Labour Party's policies are being blamed for a potential economic recession, with over 100,000 jobs on the line. Companies are curtailing recruitment and beginning layoffs due to rising costs. The proposal to abolish the non-domicile tax status, while marketed as reform, is prompting wealthy individuals to reconsider their residency in the UK. Rachel Reeves, leading Labour's economic strategy, has focused on tax increases rather than fostering an environment conducive to investment and growth. If Labour fails to pivot from these policies, the party risks plunging the UK into a deeper economic crisis. Meanwhile, Reform UK is rising rapidly, reshaping the political landscape. Recent local election successes signal that Reform UK could challenge both Labour and the Conservatives, with polls showing both major parties languishing at around 25 to 30%. This reflects the electorate's frustration with the status quo. Zia Yusuf, the leader of Reform UK, is confident that the party is on the brink of a significant breakthrough, evidenced by their recent victories. As Labour grapples with internal crises and declining credibility, Starmer faces mounting criticism for his inability to deliver on promises and navigate the complex political terrain. The emergence of Reform UK could herald a new political era in Britain.